Hello everybody, my name is Waddles. I hope you're doing very well today. I'm doing pretty well myself, thank you for asking. I can hear you asking. Today we're going to go over 5 great features that Java Edition has that Bedrock Edition does not have. This is kind of a part 2. I made a video at the end of last year titled 5 features that Bedrock has that Java doesn't have. And so we're doing the opposite of that today. Go down in the comments and drop one more feature that Java has that you think Bedrock Edition should have. And while you're down there, drop a like and consider subscribing, and check out the description for a bunch of cool links, like the link to my Discord server. So let's start off at number 1, because that's where a list begins. The first really big thing that came to mind when I was thinking about version differences are shields. I know a lot of Bedrock players have been wanting shields for like ever, really, since shields were implemented in Java. Now, shields can, of course, block damage. Now, I was going to include the combat update in here, but the combat update is pretty divisive in the community. Some people love it, some people hate it, so I'm not really including that, but shields would be absolutely wonderful. Wrapped in with this, a weird thing is on the Bedrock edition of the game, the shield spot has a shield shape still, but there is no shield found in the game at all. In your offhand on Bedrock, you can put torches and maps and stuff like that, but it's shaped like a shield in the menu. Our next spot on the list is pretty hard to show off, so here's some wonderful footage of me swimming around and just kind of doing things. Java Edition, of course, has the massive and wonderful modding community, as well as official support for add-ons like data packs that are all free. If you've played Bedrock Edition and checked out the marketplace before, you are well aware that there is content actually on that version of the game that is kind of modded and different. It changes the game a whole lot, but more often than not, and I'm talking like 95% of the time, it seems that you will have to pay mine coins for that content, and mine coins translate to real life money. So if you're looking for some kind of fun, cool, free mod that you're trying to try out and just see what it does, Java Edition would be the place to go for that. Now, it is my suspicion that perhaps eventually this might change a little bit on the Bedrock Edition and things may become more open and free, but as of right now, the modding community is absolutely wonderful and massive on the Java Edition. Another wonderful thing that Java has over Bedrock Edition is the buggy Redstone. Now, Redstone is a little more buggy on the Java Edition of the game, but the community as a whole has come to really love how Redstone works on the Java Edition as compared to the Bedrock Edition. Sure, the stuff on the Bedrock Edition maybe works technically better or like it is meant to, but because of how Redstone is set up on the Java Edition, you could do so much more with it, and it is so much easier to use, and from my experience, it just seems to make a whole lot more sense to me. Now, I am not a Redstone player. I don't do a lot of Redstone, as you probably know, but from working with the small amount of Redstone that I have on both versions of the game, I can definitely say I prefer the Java Edition Redstone, but it all just, I guess, comes down to personal preference. Now, this is a big one for me because I have spent many hours over on the Bedrock Edition of the game scratching my head over this. Mob spawning on the Bedrock Edition is completely different and, in my opinion, worse than the mob spawning on Java Edition. On Java Edition, things make a whole lot of sense to me. I could be standing, right here on the ground, and I can expect mobs to spawn in the caves, on the surface, all around me, and at nighttime, spawns get even worse. But on the Bedrock Edition of the game, it sometimes feels like there's a million drowned in a river, and then there are no mobs anywhere else. You go into the cave, and you don't find any mobs, but then you leave the cave, and you find a river or one tiny room of the cave with like 20 mobs sitting in it, no joke. Now, this, of course, has a very, very negative effect on mob farms on the Bedrock Edition. Mob farming is a whole lot more complex over there because of the wonky spawns, and at times really just random feeling spawns over on the Bedrock Edition. Now, of course, there is a method to all of this madness, but I just can't grasp it at all. And I mean, you know, getting a trident is nice, but making some kind of crazy farm is possibly a little nicer long term. And finally, our fifth feature is a really big one. To my knowledge, Bedrock Edition does not have hardcore mode. Now, if you're a new player or a casual player, you might be like, what do you mean, hardcore? Why does that matter? But that's actually a pretty big thing. Hardcore is a whole entire different world of survival Minecraft, because if you make one mistake, like one single mistake, you are completely done. Like, no redo, just you're dead, you're done. And it is features like this that keep players playing long term. Hardcore is obviously more aimed for the experienced player who has been playing for quite some time. You don't download the game and then start playing hardcore 3 days later. You learn what you are doing first. Officially supported game modes like hardcore keep players interested in the game, and with the rumors of some kind of realistic mode possibly coming in the future, or at least with that idea really taking off on the Minecraft feature suggestion page, hardcore would be nice. If a realistic mode was coming to Minecraft and Bedrock doesn't even have hardcore quite yet, that would be a little confusing. How does that work? Shouldn't hardcore be there too? And so, those are 5 of the many features that are on the Java edition of the game that Bedrock does not have. What do you think? What is your favorite Java feature that's not on Bedrock? Tell me down below. And remember that all of this was my opinion. Perhaps you like that Bedrock doesn't have shields. Well, that's good, because you're in luck. It doesn't have shields. Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. I recently hit 30k subscribers, and that is absolutely absurd and really cool. Also, down in the description, you'll find a bunch of fancy links to things like my Twitter, my Discord server, and more. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Waddles, and I will see you next time. Go have a good day. Goodbye, everybody.